Introduce yourself to the class, Mom.
Hey everybody, I'm Emily's mom, Teresa. Congratulations, you're about to graduate.
So, what is the first book you remember reading to me?
Well, I have to pull out this one first, and I know I read it to you, but actually it came from reading it to Emily's big brother, Kelly, and the reason that it's important is because it's called A Sister for Sam, and we read it to Kelly for a very long time because in this book Sam wakes up and he has a baby sister and her name is Emily, so we waited a long time to have an Emily.
What were my books you read to me during childhood and I tried to read with you?
The Pokey Little Puppy is an example of one of the many little golden books. We had lots of little golden books, and this is just one of them.
Is there any sentimental books that you bought me as a child that would help me to develop into the person I am today?
Well, we had the Read With Me Bible, which is an example of a children's version of all the classic Bible stories. The Read With Me Bible.
Did you happen to buy any books that would help you lie to me through my childhood?
Well, The Tooth Fairy is a good example of lying to children, just like the Santa Claus stories, but that's okay because it's fun all along the way. And this Tooth Fairy comes with a velvet pouch where you put your tooth for the Tooth Fairy to come. So she can leave you money.
Did you ever read me any nighttime stories that were kind of old, but you enjoyed them so much you just read them to me?
Where the Red Fern Grows. The reason we read this book is because Emily was in daycare, and when summertime came, since I'm a teacher, we got to leave daycare for the summer, and she was very sad because her teacher was getting ready to read this to the class, and I think she was in kindergarten or first grade. So we bought Where the Red Fern Grows, but she would fall asleep every night and I'd keep reading, so I had no idea where she fell asleep. But I loved the book. She read it herself later.
So when did my obsession for human anatomy books begin?
I can't remember when it began, but Emily has this book, a child's first library of learning, and this is Our Bodies book. And every time we'd go to the bookstore, Emily would end up with an anatomy book.
Do you have any memories about Junie B. Jones books?
Junie B. Jones, I think I bought them all. Mrs. Deal, Emily's teacher that looped first and second grade, read her Junie B. Jones, and we continued reading Junie B. Jones, bought them all.
Since you were once a middle school teacher, do you remember any certain books that I read during middle school?
The Outsiders. I've read this book at least 14 times, I'd say, because we read it in 8th grade. Emily read it also. Cute Boys in Movie.
So what can you tell about my studying of The Alchemist from that copy of my book?
Well, it has graffiti and pencil marks all over it, and yeah, this is from 9th grade. Well, I don't know that book.
What do you know about the Scarlet Letter? Have you heard anything about bosoms or such?
Scarlet is red, A is the letter. This is over my head.
Did you read that book in high school? I heard you read that book in high school and you hated it and you just didn't read it, actually.
Did I tell you that? I don't remember right now. I think I read it and didn't understand it. I was very naive. I don't know this book either. No math.
It is The Glass Castle. I read that book for my final project of junior year. It was awesome. Keep going.
It was awesome?
Yeah.
I should read it.
Now on to a cool book that is actually literature, and I could have written about it on the AP test, but Miss Beach might have freaked out. Hunger Games.
I do know that Hunger Games has been in our house for a very long time, much longer than it's been popular, and Emily read it and had to have the next book and the next book. Are there 3 or 4? Just 3? Yeah, and she's read them all at least once and was hooked on them long before they were popular and kept saying, I hope there's a movie, I hope there's a movie. And now there's a movie, but we've not seen it.
So, this In the Lake of the Woods. Do you remember any of my summer assignments on that?
I read this book. This is a cool book, except I'm kind of slow and it was hard for me to understand. So I kept having to reread parts, but it was a very cool book.
See, Summer reading books are hard. Even my mom can't understand.
I'm a math teacher, but I am language teacher. I'm certified to teach language, but it's mostly for the grammar part.
So looking at the condition of this Hamlet book, my senior year literature, how do you think I like that book?
I don't think you read it. Did you read it?
Oh, I read it.
It has some markings in it.
I read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Did you read Spark Notes?
Yeah, I always read Spark Notes. You know, Spark Notes are what got me through AP Lit. That's how I am the reader I am today. Spark Notes. The end.